ริ่มเข้ามากันพอสมควรแล้วนะคะยังไงเดี๋ยวลินก็ขออนุญาตเริ่มเลยละกันค่ะก็ก่อนอื่นเลยนะคะต้องสวัสดีผู้ปกครองนะคะแล้วก็น้องๆแล้วก็ทุกท่านที่อยู่ในเว็บบินาร์กับซีต้าในวันนี้ค่ะดิฉันลินนะคะจากทีมคอนซัลท์ของซีต้าขอต้อนรับทุกคนเข้าสู่การสัมมนาออนไลน์ในวันนี้ค่ะโดยหัวข้อในวันนี้นะคะจะเป็นหัวข้อ เปิดประตูสู่โรงเรียนมัธยมในยุโรปสัมมนารวมเรื่องน่ารู้ก่อนส่งบุตรหลานของท่านไปเรียนต่อยุโรปค่ะค่าใช้จ่ายเท่าไหร่การเรียนการสอนเป็นแบบไหนใช้ภาษาอะไรวันนี้เรามีคำตอบค่ะโดยวันนี้นะคะเราอยู่กับคุณซาร่าเรม a นี Global Head of International Student Recruitment และคุณเซียนทอมัส International Student Recruitment Specialist จาก Inspire Education ค่ะ ก็ทั้งสองคนนะคะจะมาให้ข้อมูลที่เป็นประโยชน์ในการเรียนต่อยุโรปไม่ว่าจะเป็นประเทศสเปนโปรตุเกสอิตาลีหรือว่าสวิตเซอร์แลนด์ค่ะพร้อมตอบทั้งทุกข้อสงสัยให้ทุกท่านด้วยค่ะแล้วก็ระหว่างการสัมมนานะคะหากผู้ปกครองมีคำถามหรือข้อสงสัยใดๆระหว่างที่คุณซาร่ากับคุณซีแอนกำลังพูดคุยอยู่นะคะก็สามารถส่งคำถามเข้ามาในแชทในซูมได้เลยค่ะโดยถ้าสมมติว่าเป็นคำถามเฉพาะสำหรับโรงเรียนนั้นๆรบกวนให้ผู้ปกครองใส่ชื่อโรงเรียนมาด้วยในคำถามนะคะแล้วก็อีกอย่างค่ะเราจะมีเปิดให้ถามคำถามหลังจากการจบเซสชั่นแต่ละโรงเรียนด้วยค่ะ ก็เพื่อให้ไม่เป็นการเสียเวลานะคะเพราะว่าเรามีเวลาเพียงแค่1 ชั่วโมงเรามาเริ่มกันเลยดีกว่าค่ะ Hello everyone, I'm Rin from SITA and I would like to welcome you to today's webinar, Open the Doors to European Boarding School and Experience Like No Other. And our guest speakers are Sarah Remedy, Global Head of International Student Recruitment, and Sian Thomas, International Student Recruitment Specialist from Inspire Education. So during this webinar, if you have any questions during the session, you could leave them in the chat box, or we will also have the Q&A session at the end. So now let me hand over to Sarah and Sian.
Thank you, Rin. So thank you everybody for taking the time in your evening to come and listen to us. Hopefully we can give you some interesting insights into the options for boarding within Europe. So we're going to break the presentation up between myself and Sarah, but to give you a little bit of information about me, I'm based in the UK and I have been coming to Thailand to meet families for many years, and I will actually be joining the CETA event in February. So if any of you do want to have a conversation in person, I will be in Bangkok on the 15th of February and be very, very happy to meet with you. I'm going to let Sarah introduce herself and a little bit more about Inspired, and then we'll jump straight in with some amazing school options for you to consider within Europe.
Thank you very much, Shan. Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here with you tonight. My name is Sara Rimini. I am Global Head of International Recruitment for Inspired. I've been working with Inspired Education Group for quite a few years. I am Italian and I live in Milan, and I grew up in international schools myself, and I'm a former IB diploma graduate. So I'm here together with Shan to express everything we have to show you and offer you in terms of boarding in different locations outside of the very well-known United Kingdom. So just to give you a bit of an idea of Inspired Education. So today we are the #1 group of international schools in the world. We have over 90,000 students in, right now, I think it's 118 schools across the world. Now, Shan and I, together with Nicola from our team, we take care of meeting parents and students who wish to attend our boarding schools. We have 9 boarding schools in Europe overall. We have boarding schools in Africa. We have a boarding school in Vietnam. And we also have a boarding school opening in September 2025 in Bahamas. So let's take you on a wonderful journey across Europe.
Okay, so we're going to start very strong with a wonderful school which is located in Madrid, which is obviously the capital of Spain. Now, I know for many, many years, families in Thailand have been sending their children to study in the UK and over in America. But we see a growing interest for families looking for other options, and Spain is a fantastic option for many reasons. And King's College School Soto de Vinuelas is a very, very strong contender for Thai families because it's a very British founded school. It's offering the British national curriculum in English language in a very safe and secure part of an absolutely wonderful city in the city of Madrid. So the school itself is only 30 minutes away from the centre, so it's accessible to the infrastructure, but at the same time for students, the safety and security of a suburban area on the outskirts, so they can really focus their studies and their mind on school. So the school itself offers students education all the way from kindergarten right the way up to age 18, but our boarding community here at the school starts from age 11 and goes to 18. So the students here will follow the British national curriculum, which consists of the IGCSE and the A-level. However, we also have a fantastic option for students who want to take the International Baccalaureate, the IB diploma. They can also select the IB instead of the A-level. Also with this school, because it is so diverse in terms of nationalities and in terms of students coming with different language levels from all over the world, we offer preparation programs as well. So the pre-IB and the pre-A-level years are very, very common entry points for international students. So the school itself is a wonderful school. It's got an incredible reputation. We have got an absolutely stunning brand new boarding house at this school. And we have at the moment over 100 boarders that come from all over the world. We have a really wide range of different nationalities. And across the school, we do have over 52 different nationalities. So one of the main questions we get from internationals when we talk about Europe and Spain and Portugal is, my child doesn't speak Spanish. They don't need to. Obviously, if they want to learn Spanish when they're living in Spain, what better opportunity than to be in the country of the native language to learn? But the school lessons are all delivered in English. And being part of a global group like Inspired, a lot of the teachers will either be native English speakers or they will be speaking English extremely fluently as pretty much their main language. So the British national curriculum, I know, is very well known in Thailand and very well respected. And Soto has a great long-standing reputation for getting really strong academic results across both the GCSEs and the A-levels, and for the last few years across the IB diploma as well. The school will facilitate and help your children to progress on to global universities. Again, just because they're studying in Spain doesn't mean they have to go to Spanish universities. The majority of our students are still picking UK as one of the most popular destinations for university, and they will be coming out with internationally recognised qualifications as well. So the boarding house is absolutely beautiful. And as I said, we have over 100 boarders. The campus is set in 12 acres of ground, so the students have plenty of outdoor space to enjoy the mild Spanish climate, which is another advantage if your children don't want to be in the UK and maybe experience a little bit colder weather. Spain obviously gets much milder springs and really gorgeous hot summers as well. We make a real effort in all of our boarding schools to ensure that boarding life is as enriching from a personal perspective as school is enriching from an academic perspective. So your children will have time in the evenings and weekends to take part in extracurricular clubs, activities, and at the weekends, cultural excursions, and we want them to explore as much of the country that they're living in as they so choose. So one of the things that we haven't put on here, which obviously we will talk about, is the fee structures. So one of the real advantages to parts of mainland Spain like Madrid is the cost of living is lower. I know it's been very well documented, the increase in VAT for academic school fees in private schools in the UK, and the Labour government has implemented a 20% VAT increase. This does not apply within Spain, does not apply within Europe. So obviously you are straight away getting quite a large saving on your fees. But because the cost of living is also lower, this makes schools like King's and the next school I'll talk about, and several of the schools that we have in Portugal, in comparison with the UK, and really, really a competitive option. So that being said, we will move on, and we're going to take a very short train ride out of Madrid, about 35 minutes on the fast train, and you come to the absolutely beautiful UNESCO Heritage City of Toledo. Now, Toledo is not a capital city, but it is a medieval walled city, and it's incredibly beautiful. And this really gorgeous international school sits just on the outside of the city of Toledo. As I said, very close to Madrid, very accessible for international flights, and really extremely safe. It's a very rich family area that the school sits within. And as you can see from this wonderful aerial shot, the campus is just absolutely beautiful. Really great for outdoor facilities. Again, benefiting from the milder climate in Spain, we have incredible outdoor sports facilities at this school. And actually, the building you can see next to the pool with the solar panels on the roof is our triathlon training facility. And we are actually the only school in Europe to have an on-site triathlete training facility. So this school has a smaller boarding community than King's. We only do boarding from age 14 to 18. So it's a closer, smaller, closer boarding community with children of a closer age range. So it's a more mature boarding environment. The curriculum here is the international curriculum. So the students will be studying the MYP, the middle years program, and the international baccalaureate. So the school itself has about 550 students, and of that we have about 50 boarding spaces. Like King's, we are co-educational, so we have male and female boarders, but we have clearly defined separate areas for different ages and for different sexes. So this is a smaller cohort. We don't have as many boarders, so therefore not as many nationalities, but we still have over 27 different nationalities within this school. Again, the preparation programs that we offer here, the pre-IB, is incredibly popular for our international students looking to join for the final 3 years of the high school. So the academic program, as we've said, is following the international curriculum, which is growing in popularity. Also, from a fee perspective, the IB diploma, when you place it within the UK and America, is significantly higher in fee structure quite often than, for example, the A-level, or maybe even in America, the AP. And again, in Spain, because of the lower pricing, the price that you would pay for the IB diploma years would be significant reduction on the price you would pay for the same in the UK. Again, all of our students are supported with their university applications globally. As you can see from this list, Toledo is sending many students to the UK, to France, to Belgium. We do have a lot of students who pick this school because they want to go to a Spanish university and they want to really immerse themselves in Spanish culture, and Toledo is an absolutely perfect city for them to do this. The boarding here is really quite special. It is a smaller boarding community, but I think it marries very well with the values of many of the Thai families that we've worked with in the past, because it feels like a family. I have a very supportive boarding parents that look after the students 24/7, and the activities and the excursions that they operate really build a strong sense of community. Again, a lot of the students here take advantage of the natural environment that they're living within. So during the warmer months, spending lots of time enjoying sports and outdoor activities as well. But we do take them into Madrid, and we do take them to visit local cultural sites and obviously bigger cities within Spain. So again, like King's, the fee structure on this school is incredibly competitive. If you picked this school up with a magic glove and popped it in the UK, the price that you would pay would probably increase by about 30 to 35% for changing absolutely nothing. So it really shows you that you can get an incredibly incredibly excellent education for a very competitive budget outside of the UK. In contrast to the two schools we've just mentioned, we do have a third school in Spain, but it's located down on the Andalusian coast. So this is more of a beachfront kind of campus. You can see from this picture, the campus sits right on the coast, and on a clear day from the back reception of the school, you can actually look over to the coast of Africa. So we are not far from the international airport located in Malaga, but the surrounding area consists of places like Marbella, Puerto Banús, Estepona. It's a very international, popular relocation point because of the mild climate, the great beaches, and the really high-end lifestyle that comes with this part of Spain. Sotogrande is completely in keeping with the area that it's in. It's a very exclusive school. It's globally recognized and regarded as being a fantastic school. It has an amazing modern campus with incredible facilities, and it is actually an Apple accredited and distinguished school. So it shows you that it's a very modern, technologically minded school as well. This is actually one of the largest boarding houses that we have. So the students that live with us at Sotogrande, we have 160 boarders, and they range anywhere from age 10 and 11 up to 18. And they will study the full international curriculum, so the MYP program and the IB diploma. One thing that this school has that's different to the other two schools in Spain is the incredible range of sports academies. So when I say a sports academy, this is for professional young athletes who want to really make sure they get the consistency of a strong education as well as practicing their professional sports. So the long-standing academies that we have here in tennis and golf are globally known, and every year we have students who undertake the 2-year academy program, and then they will go on to achieve sporting scholarships at many US colleges. So for any students who are already practicing golf and tennis at a good level, this academy will really help to elevate their sporting career. The school has got over 1,300 students, so it is a larger school and it has a large boarding community. It's also incredibly diverse with over 50 nationalities every year, and the day community is just as international as the boarding community because the area is such an attractive relocation point. We do offer preparation programs, and the IB diploma is the curriculum the students follow in the full-time academic school, but the students that do the sports academy will follow the A-level program just so they have a bit more flexibility in their timetable. We do also have swimming, basketball and polo sports academies, but the golf and tennis are the ones that are the most long-standing and the most famous for Sotogrande. So as I talked about the academic program, again, subjects, STEM-related subjects, those more analytical subjects, Sotogrande is very, very well equipped to support students. So if they're looking to go on to study the sciences, to study medicine, Sotogrande will support them very, very well as the other two schools in Spain. So again, global universities, US appears a bit more because of the sports academies, but UK and European university destinations are still very popular with our graduates here at Sotogrande International. This boarding house, again, is absolutely stunning. It's only been open for a few years, and it's a fully modern, purpose-built boarding house with the most beautiful communal areas, the most beautiful bedroom facilities. It's very modern, and it's an environment that the students are really proud to live in, and they really enjoy the space. So we do have full air conditioning because, like Thailand, it gets very hot in Sotogrande, and we have to have that. We also have lots of sports facilities, so swimming pools, basketball courts, and also we have a fully equipped gymnasium as well. And then the students here will, again, weekends and evenings have access to a really diverse range of cultural excursions and also just fun excursions. So they will do things like go-karting and horse riding, things that allow the children to enjoy their weekends. The one difference with Sotogrande is it is in a more expensive cost of living area of Spain. So the fee structure here is probably more in line with the UK fee structure. It's just a very different environment. When you visit central Spain and coastal Spain, it feels quite different. But again, we can guide you on the different environments and what might be more of a preference for you and for your children. So I'm going to hand you over to Sarah now, who is going to talk to you about our options within the beautiful Portugal.
Thank you very much, Sean. And yes, just to reply to some of the families that were asking, yes, all our schools have English as first language of education. No, it's not compulsory to know Spanish. To be able to join one of our 3 schools in Spain. You can pick up Spanish if you want and obviously learn Spanish as a second or third or fourth language, but it's not compulsory for the enrollment. Now I'm going to take you on a wonderful tour of Portugal, which is quite not well known as a boarding destination, but it's actually developing quite fast. The first school I will be speaking to you about is St. Peter's International School. Now, where is St. Peter's? If you look at Lisbon on the map and you go down 30 minutes with the car south, you arrive to the wonderful residential and rural area of Palmela in Portugal. So it's 30 minutes from Lisbon and 30 minutes from the wonderful international airport. And it's located on one side, we have the national park, and on the other side, we have the famous Setúbal Bay, where we take our boarding students dolphin watching as well. Thank you, Shan. In terms of the kind of curriculum that we offer, so as our Spanish schools, English is the first language of education. However, here in St. Peter's, we also run the Portuguese national curriculum. So I would say 60% of our families here in St. Peter's are Portuguese and 40% are international. In terms of our boarding community, it's a petite boarding community. We have 35 students currently, and that's the maximum capacity we have in boarding in St. Peter's. And overall, the school has 1,500 students. Now, of the 1,500 students, I would say 60% follow the Portuguese curriculum. Actually, I would say 50% follow the Portuguese curriculum, while 50% actually follow the international curriculum, where we offer the Cambridge primary and secondary curriculum with the IGCSEs and then the International Baccalaureate diploma. So all our students can access universities all over the world. Now, giving you a little bit of information on our wonderful boarding house. So the boarding house was actually opened and built from scratch 3 years ago. And we have, as I said, 35 different students coming from all over the world. We have a variety of different nationalities. If I recall correctly, we have about 15 different nationalities today in boarding. And the boarding house is on one floor, one wing dedicated to the girls and one wing dedicated to the boys. Also in this school, as Shan has previously mentioned about the other schools, we offer a very good pastoral care for our students, because pastoral care and well-being of our students is our #1 priority, of course, together with security. And we also have a fantastic university counseling as well. So the students can go and discuss with the university counselors where they would like to apply after successfully passing the IB diploma. Also in this school, we have students going in every single direction in terms of university destinations. The UK, Europe, Portugal, because not a lot of people know that Portugal has top universities, especially for medicine and economics. You will need to speak fluent Portuguese for that, but I think with 4 years of attending St. Peter's International School, the students are able to develop a good level of Portuguese that can help them enroll into Portuguese universities. But for the majority of our students, they still pick the UK as top destinations when they graduate. Also in this school, we have a very, very competitive fee structure. It is one of the most competitive around Europe in terms of our boarding schools. And just to give you an idea, we're talking about 36,000 euros in terms of boarding and tuition. In terms of the boarding life and what we offer our students, now Portugal is very well known for surfing, for example. So there's a lot of outdoor activities that we offer our students, and all our boarding students are full boarders, so they stay with us throughout the weekend. So we have a lot of cultural and sport excursions planned for them. There's wonderful cities like Lisbon to explore from a cultural point of view, Sintra, and obviously the area of Cascais that I will be speaking to you about in a few seconds. And also the wonderful area of Algarve, which is in the southern part of Portugal. So there's plenty of activities that we plan for our students to make sure that they are academically involved during the week, but also have fantastic opportunities in the weekends for socializing, having healthy sports, and just experiencing life in Portugal.
I think it's also worth just mentioning, to give a scale of relativity, Sarah's talking about the fees being about 36,000 euro for a full year. That's for IB diploma. That's including your boarding and your tuition, and also any EAL English support lessons you will need. If you take the same year, the same IB diploma year, and you look at a UK boarding school, from this year onwards, you're really not going to find an IB diploma for less than, probably at the very bare minimum, between 45 and 50,000 pounds, and we're talking euros. So really there is a huge saving to be had when you talk about the fee structures outside of the UK. It is really quite amazing when you look at it, and that was one of the reasons that Andrew and the team at CETA wanted us to talk about Europe, because it's not as well known, and they wanted to share this little secret with you because there are some amazing options to be had.
So YELTS, there's one question about YELTS scores. YELTS, yes, is important, but we also have our admissions process, which is similar in all the schools. We ask for a couple of years of past report cards. We have the students sit the CAT4 test in English and maths, which is a cognitive ability test. And then we have an interview with the student. All these schools that we're talking about tonight are international schools. So we are very used to having students from all over the world. We have a variety of different nationalities in the schools, and most of our students have English as a second language, and of course Spanish can be a second or third language, or Portuguese. So if you're worried about whether your child would not fit in, if it's their first experience in Spain or Portugal, no worries at all. There's plenty of students from all over the world. These are international schools that are just happen to be outside of the UK or the States or Canada. So they're in different locations where there's a lot of different expats living. So now I will take you into our, the newest school that we built from scratch in Portugal, and it's King's College Cascais. Now, you would read it King's College Cascais, but in Portuguese, it's pronounced Cascais. So the Cascais area, if you look at Lisbon, it's about 30 minutes west of Lisbon. And it's what we call the Riviera in Portugal. So it's one of the best locations in terms of the beaches, the restaurants, the area. It's a marine area. There's a nice little port, and there's plenty of activities and just fantastic location to relocate or also to have a wonderful international school. Now, King's was opened just a couple of years ago, and we have today 900 students attending up to year 10. So next year, we're going to be opening year 11 in September 2025. So we're going to have the first IGCSEs students sitting their exams next year. We will be opening boarding just this September 2025. And just to give you an idea of how different our schools in Portugal are. So St. Peter's, remember when I mentioned it was 60% Portuguese and 40% international? Here we have the opposite. It's 60% international and 40% Portuguese. And it follows a very British curriculum. We run the Cambridge International curriculum for lower classes, the primary classes, and then we offer the Cambridge secondary curriculum with IGCSEs, GCSEs, and we're going to be offering in 2026 the first year of IB diploma, International Baccalaureate Diploma. So here you will find a very British school with an international vibe because the students are from really all over the place. We have over 45 different nationalities. This area has been I think one of the top relocation areas for Europe. It's besides the golden visas that are issued, it's also wonderful in terms of the weather, in terms of the temperature all year round. The food in Portugal is amazing. So there's a lot of families who have, and a lot of British families as well, who have looked into Portugal to just move their families. And now there's a fantastic opportunity to send your child for boarding. The facilities are outstanding. We're just completing the construction of the boarding house, which will be on top of the secondary building, and you will be able to see the ocean, which is 5 minutes drive from the school, just from the top floor of the boarding. It will be double rooms with ensuite bathrooms, spacious rooms, natural light, similar to what we built in Sotogrande, if you remember. So the type of look and feel in terms of design and the architecture is all thought through and studied around the student as being the protagonist, of course. In terms of extracurricular activities and the weekend activities, our head of boarding, who is already in place in the school, Graham, has already planned out everything for our students from when they arrive in September until they leave at the end of June. So they will have cultural activities. There's going to be lots of surfing, golfing, tennis, lots of opportunities for enjoying different kind of sports and also trying out new sports, because that's also part of the boarding experience, you know, making friends that will last forever, and for your entire life, and also friends that come from different traditions, different parts of the world, and sharing that culture and sharing it. The boarding houses in our schools become a bit a home away from home, where all the students like to share and bring a part of their home to the boarding life and the boarding community.
I think we've had a few questions. Shall we have
yes.
I can't see them as much as you because I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me see. Okay. So please leave your contact details with Marla. Of course, we will. And we will also share the presentation. And
yeah, just so you all know what
share
we're going to
this
do.
recorded video. Yes.
Yes, the ladies from CETA are going to send you an email, which myself and Sarah have put together. There will be links for the websites and for information on all the schools that we talked through with you today. There will be a recording of this presentation. So if you've forgotten something, you can skip back and you can find the school that it was in relation to. And there will also be direct access to us if you want to contact us. And as I said at the beginning, if you do want to meet with me, I will be with you in Bangkok in February. It's Saturday the 15th of February, the CETA event, and I'd be very, very happy to speak with you. If you don't want to wait that long, myself and Sarah are always available to have online meetings with you, because we understand that it's a huge deal to find the right school for your child. And we always say that it's not just a school, it's a home. And we know that, for a lot of parents, there are going to be a lot of questions, not just around academics, but also around safety, security, what happens if my child is poorly or sick, or somebody who's going to look after them. And we are on hand to support you along with the team at CETA with all of those questions.
Yes. We have an interesting question. So how about the eating habits and living culture in Spain? Does it differ from other European countries? I would say, being Italian, so I'm closer to the Spanish and the Portuguese cuisine, I would say. It is slightly different from the British kind of cuisine, but it's compared to, for example, Thai food, it's slightly less spicy, unless you want it spicy. It's rich of vegetables, it's rich of meat, it's rich of fish. So the Mediterranean cuisine is quite healthy. So I think your kids will be able to adapt easily. But also in all our schools, we have international dishes. All our food is cooked on site, and our chefs are very aware of our multicultural communities in our schools. So they pull out different kind of international dishes every week. So I'm sure that your child will be able to not eat Thai food maybe every day, but find something that he or she will like for sure.
Also, the student councils at all of the schools have food councils, so the students can give feedback, because we know how important food is, especially to teenagers. So we will listen to the community. Obviously, this is their home. They're eating 3 meals a day with us, so we want to listen to the feedback and make it as happy a feeding experience for all of our students. The Thai food won't be ever quite as delicious as it will be when it's cooked in Thailand, but we will do our very, very best.
And just to reassure everyone, there's no dangerous countries in that we've been speaking about. There's no wars going on in European side, on this side of Europe. So Spain is very, very peaceful. Portugal as well. Switzerland, we will be speaking about later, is obviously the most peaceful of all the European countries, and Italy as well. There's no wars, no civil rioting or anything. They're very, very safe. And of course, our schools have all gated communities, and we also offer supervision 24/7 to all our boarding students. Now, let me take you to my hometown, my home city. So Milan. Milan is quite a big city, quite famous for obviously architecture, fashion, finance, and food. Of course, being Italian, I cannot not mention food. So food is a big thing, yes, but it's also something that our students, international students, adore. So we have the International School of Milan. I've been working with this school specifically since 2009. It's a long time. It joined, inspired in 2016. And it's the most international campus and school that we have in Italy. And it's the second oldest international school in Italy. It was founded in 1958, and it was the first one to start offering the IB diploma from 1987. So here we're talking about a full IB school. We have students from the age of 2 to the age of 18 that follow the primary years, middle years program, and IB diploma program of the IB. It is a city campus, so forget everything you've seen so far in terms of huge campuses with parks and the lake you'll see in Switzerland. This is more of a city campus. Now, we have 850 students, 880 students currently, age 860, sorry, currently age 2 to 18. the secondary school is the school that has the most students. We have currently 40, I would say 42 boarding students in the International School of Milan. We have 40 in place right now. They represent 18 different nationalities. So very international environment. We have over 50 different nationalities in our school community. So the International School of Milan has about 50% of the families are Italian and 50% are international. And also here, you don't need to speak Italian. We have so many families relocating and coming to live to Milan and join our school because it's a truly international environment. We are very, very well known in terms of the IB curriculum, and every year we have between 70 and 80 students graduating and going in different areas and parts of the world. We have boarding on the 4th and 5th floor of the modern campus. We have an indoor swimming pool. There's facilities for the students. We have great music and visual arts programs as well. And we offer a variety of different activities after school, but also during the weekends. So to name a few, this coming weekend, the students are going to go to Florence and they're going to be exploring Florence. In the past, they've done Rome. Or at the beginning of the school year, we do the induction weekend on Lake Como. But we also take them quite often downtown in Milan, where there's a lot of cultural events going on, but also there's the possibility of students going into the Duomo or visiting just the little streets in the different parts and neighborhoods of Milan. Milan has a great amount of culture and artistic venues to show off, and the students appreciate that. But of course, we go and eat pizza almost every 2 weeks, I would say. And we take them skiing because the Alps are only 1.5 hours from Milan. So we have ski week and we have a ski weekend, but we also organize to take them skiing also as a day trip. So there's plenty of activities that our students can carry out. And as in all our boarding schools, students can also visit their their friends. So if a family becomes well acquainted with another family who has a day student and the kids become friends, they can go and spend the weekend together, just as long as we have all the permissions. As we said, in all our boarding schools, we have full supervision 24/7. There's a great pastoral team that takes care of the well-being of our students. We have great university counseling for directing our students. Can you change the slide, please? Thank you. Directing our students in different applications and to different areas of the world for university. We've seen an increase of international students wanting to stay in Milan over the past years because we have such great universities that finally offer courses in English, like for medicine, for example, for architecture, the Polytechnic. So there's a good variety of options in Italy as well. But of course, the UK is one of the top countries to head to for university, followed by the States and other European countries. And also here, we have a very competitively priced school. So in terms of international baccalaureate diploma years, we are around 45,000 euros, not pounds, euros. And our boarding students are all age 14 to 18. So this is a school that can be chosen for students who are in their high school and or they want to come for pre-IB or the full IB diploma. Okay.
Hey, perfect. So I think the questions were going a bit crazy there. Sarah, you've sparked off some interest.
All right. So, which countries are currently experiencing unrest or dangers? I already replied to that. Okay. No, currently our countries, when you hear about European unsettling and, danger and everything, it's towards the eastern part where, well, Ukraine and Russia, but it does not affect any of our countries, luckily. And what is the current political and economic situation in Spain has had an impact on education at the moment? No, I think Spain, Portugal, and Italy are all going through the same kind of a situation. Of course, the cost of living has increased over the past years, but it hasn't impacted international education. We have seen lots of schools, international schools opening and actually expanding. So there's a big request of international education, both by local families, but also international families. So I think Europe is actually booming in terms of international education. Are there any fields of study in Italy that are particularly outstanding or well known? Well, of course, Bocconi, economics, that's one of the top world universities in terms of economics studies, but also architecture, the Polytechnic. And if you will go into fashion, art, and design, then we have NABA University, which you might know, Accademia delle Belle Arti, NABA and Marangoni, for example, which is quite well known, and medicine. We have the San Raffaele Hospital and Humanitas that offer excellent preparation for our future doctors. So there are quite a few different routes that you can actually take after graduating, for example, at the International School of Milan and staying in Italy. And let's not forget that to develop a good level of Italian language, if you wish to, if you're child wishes to study it, it's not compulsory, but if he does or she does, I think with 3 or 4 years in an international environment with taking Italian as an additional language and also living in Italy, then you will develop a really good level of Italian fluency. How many times in a year that the students need to leave the school back home? Do you want to answer that, Shan? How many times does the student have to go home?
So we follow, in all of the schools, we follow the British, the European international school year. So the school year starts in September, and the first term or the first semester will run through until December, when we have the Christmas break. So normally there is a mid-term break in the first term, which is normally a week or two. Quite a lot of our students, instead of maybe going home, they may go and visit friends, family. Quite often families will come into Europe and have a holiday with the children because they understand that it's quite a long flight to go back to Asia for just 1 week. They do have quite a decent length holiday over what we call the Christmas period, the festive period, which is the end of December, well, the middle of December until sort of like into January. So that holiday period is the first holiday where we do really recommend the students go home, because after the first term, it's nice for them to go and reconnect with their friends, their family, and just have a little bit of home time. And then they come back in the January, and then their second term finishes for the Easter break, which is normally March, April time. And again, that's a good couple of weeks holiday there as well, with a midterm break. And then the third term, they come back after Easter in the April, and it runs through normally until mid to late June. And then they have a very long summer holiday, obviously from late June right the way through until they come back in September. So there's 3 terms, there's 3 main holidays, but there are 3 midterm breaks. We do have some options as well within Europe. There are lots of camp providers. We have some global camp opportunities at different times. So normally most of the students will go home a minimum of 3 times a year. Okay. Now
we have one more question. So between Spain, Portugal, and Italy, where do you think parents should send their children to study, considering the child is not very proficient in English and has never lived independently before? So this is okay. This is quite an interesting question and very important. So it depends, first of all, on the age of the child. And we would absolutely recommend to send him on or send her on a summer camp before attending or sending them to boarding school. Because summer camp can be a good taster in terms of if the school is the perfect match for your child, but also it's a 2 weeks away from home and it's not long. So you can test and see if your child is ready or not to go into boarding. And then depending also on the age of the students, because as you've seen, we have boarding schools that offer boarding from the age of 11 to the age of 18. So if your child is on the younger side, so around 11, 12, I would highly recommend to choose a school that has that age for boarding because they are going to have the staff specialized in that age. They will they will know how to obviously deal with students being homesick. And instead, if you have a student who is already around 14, but is not proficient and in English, I would recommend choosing a school that has a very good English additional language program.
Also, we are able to give you advice based on your individual child because, as we know, every human being is totally different. And if you have a child who maybe is really sporty, but is a bit more introverted, maybe wouldn't like a huge boarding environment, we have schools that fit that brief perfectly. Sometimes a child wants to have huge boarding house, lots of nationalities, you know, a very active, intense boarding schedule with lots going on, and then there will be other schools that would suit that personality. So again, that is something that when we get to know you and we get to know the profile of the student and the child a little bit better, we can really give you a personal recommendation. It's one of the benefits of having a wide variety of very different boarding schools is there's really something in there for every different child. And myself and Sarah are really invested in making sure that we support you and your children to make the very best decision, because the better the fit of the boarding school and the student, the happier the student, the happier the parents, and the happier that we all are. So we work very closely with our families to make sure that we get it as right as we possibly can. Okay, so moving on to the grand finale. In a world of its own, we move to Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is unique in the respect that it is known as one of the top and definitely the most premium destinations for private boarding education. It does come with a Swiss price tag, which is very Swiss. But it is an absolutely phenomenal, not only a phenomenal country, but a phenomenal educational experience. And St. George's International, it really is the absolute definition of why Swiss education, Swiss boarding schools are known the world over. So this is a very, very international boarding school. It's located in Montreux, which is on the edge of Lake Geneva. So it's in the French-speaking side of Switzerland. However, as with all of our schools, it's fully delivered in English. Switzerland itself has a multitude of different relocating nationalities. So the day community as well as the boarding community is incredibly varied. This is the eye-wateringly beautiful campus. As you can see, there is the edge of Lake Geneva nestled with the mountains. So obviously skiing is a big part of the culture at the school during the ski season. Our boarders are very, very lucky that they get the opportunity to ski and snowboard during the week, during their PE, their physical education lessons. So we do actually take them up to the slopes to let them go wild and enjoy some of the best ski conditions that Europe has to offer. The school itself has a boarding community from age 10 to 18. And the school offers a mixture between the British and the international curriculum, doing the IGCSE as a foundation and then working up towards the International Baccalaureate, the IB diploma. The two curriculums work very, very well together, and we find the IGCSE is a really great foundation to start the IB education. So The school is not a huge school. We have about 370 students in total, and the day community goes all the way again from kindergarten right the way through to 18. And we have just over 100 boarders nestled into the top floors of this beautiful school. One of the most amazing things about this school is the community, the sense of camaraderie, the support that goes on. It's a very close-knit school to be a part of. And I think with that, it probably helps with the academic standing of this school as well. So the students are healthily competitive and they support each other, and their ambition drives each other. And this has meant that this school has actually been the top #1 performing academic school in Switzerland for the last 2 years. So the IB averages, 36, 37 points year on year, showing that this school is academically in a very strong position to get your children to some of the world's top universities. It's got great heritage and history. So the school itself has been established for a very, very long time. And the melting pot of nationalities that comes with Switzerland allows exposure to English, French, there's many different languages, German if you go over in, and I think that cultural experience that Switzerland offers really is quite unique. Also the location, you can get a train from Montreux and you can be in Milan, in Sarah's home city, in a few hours, and it's an absolutely beautiful train ride through the mountains. You can hop over the border and be in France very, very quickly from Switzerland and Germany. It really is at the center, the epicenter of Europe. Our boarding students, my favorite thing to hear about is when they inquire what's been going on in boarding, and they say, oh, they've gone over to Italy to have their dinner, and it really amazes me as a person that comes from the UK, where obviously we are surrounded by water, that they can hop on a train and go and have Italian pasta and pizza for dinner and be back home in their beds in Switzerland without any long stressful journeys. So really is a great boarding experience. As I said, over 60 plus different nationalities, and the day community and the boarding community are equally diverse. It's also worth mentioning on the diversity point that all of our schools do not follow any religion. We welcome all religions. We are very international, so we welcome different nationalities, different languages, different religious denominations. We are open-minded international schools, so there is no religious ceremonies or religious content related. As I said, the academics at this school are incredibly strong. One of the main benefits again of Switzerland is the ratio of teachers to students. So you will see averages of 6 or 7 students per teacher. So it is a very concentrated learning environment for many of the students here. So this school sees students, happily sees students going off to some of the best universities. UK is still very, very popular, but as you can see, some Ivy League over in the US, and Switzerland has some incredible universities and colleges as well. So some of our students will progress on to them. Also going as far as Australia, even over into Italy. So we do support students wherever the best course for them is in the world. We will support them with their university application. So the boarding experience here in Switzerland is really, really incredible. They have had a complete boarding renovation. So they've got those lovely modern purpose-built boarding rooms, and the boarding is actually in the main building. So when it is snow season, they don't have to put their snow boots on to go out to school. They just have to come down a few flights of stairs and they are ready for their lessons. As ever, we have 24/7 live-in boarding parents who all have teaching duties as well. So during prep time and homework time, your children will be supported by extra support, but also by adults who have got some teaching experience or are actually teachers themselves as well. So that extra support that they get will make a difference when it comes to their academic progression and development as well. And it goes without saying that the exciting weekend activities, ski season, there's a lot of snow because it is what a lot of the students would like to do. But Switzerland is incredibly underrated for the summer. It's beautiful to be able to go down to swim in the lake of an evening after school. They can spend weekends by the lake. Living on the edge of Lake Geneva really year round is just a beautiful experience. And Geneva is a short train ride away. So they do get a wide variety of different indoor and outdoor activities, but the lakes and mountain-based activities in Switzerland are world class. So that is Switzerland. Does anyone have any specific questions on Switzerland? Sorry, I can't see the chat box. So Sarah, you can maybe help.
Yes. Do we need to speak French to attend St. George's?
Nope. The only language requirement in any inspired schools is English. And again, as Sarah said, all of our schools will support with English language development. They are all fundamentally, first and foremost, international schools. So it's a very welcoming environment for any students from we have students from Asia, from Africa, from America, Australia, from all over the world. Okay.
There is a questions asking not specifically for Switzerland, but they ask if there are any scholarship for this international student in any of the school.
We have a academic excellence scholarship at the International School of Toledo and in Spain. And it's only for the IB diploma students, so 16 to 18. So they can, if you have a student who's very good academically, then they can go through the application and see if they can obtain a partial scholarship. Yes.
Also, Rin, it's really worth mentioning that one of the main reasons we wanted to talk today about the options in Europe is because sometimes the need for a scholarship is because the fees are high. And the great thing about a lot of these schools in Europe is they are so much lower in fee structure. So actually, you might be really surprised when it comes to discussing the fees, that they are really, in a lot of respects, very affordable, with the exception of Switzerland. I think I just saw a question there saying if we had any Thai students in St. George's. I believe, yes, we do. We have had many Thai students in the past. We have got many different students from different parts of Asia as well. But again, any time for an enrollment year, if you are really interested in knowing for that year how many students from different countries, we can give you specific breakdowns if needs be as well. Okay. Just having a look through.
Is there any school you would recommend that's good at arts and designs?
Yes. So if if the student is really passionate about visual arts, I would recommend International School San Patricio in Toledo. If it's all about visual arts and going into fashion art and design, then Milan, International School of Milan, and also King's College in Cascais and Sotogrande. So they all have a very strong visual arts program, all these schools. However, if I need to point out two schools, then I would say Milan and Toledo.
Thank you.
So I can also see there's a question there about the approximate cost for 2 academic years in Italy and Switzerland. So if you were doing a 2-year program, for example, and it was the IB diploma level, if you're talking about per year, full boarding and tuition, in Italy, you're looking closer to mid-40s, and that's €1,000. But Switzerland comes in with a higher price point. So currently for Switzerland, it's around about 120,000 Swiss francs per year. But that is fully inclusive of boarding, tuition, EAL, everything that you would need outside of obviously your flights and your visa costings. But again, we will send all the information in a follow-up email so you can see. And also, if we talk about younger boarders, obviously the fee structure is lower. So the older you are, the higher the fee structure. So we always talk about the IB diploma or the A level because it's the highest year group and therefore will come with the most expensive fee structure. You're very welcome.
And I think this last question asks if guardian can follow the student to Spain, and if so, what visa should they get, and can they work while they're there?
So we don't get involved in visas for parents and families because it's very, very tricky in respect of there are so many different types of visas and there are so many different countries. So if a family is relocating and they have a visa, then the student can attend the school as a day student or as a boarding student. If they want us to sponsor a visa for the child, they have to be a boarding student and live with us on the campus. Yeah, and we can't do any visas for adults at all. All of our visa licenses are for our students, our boarding students.
Yes, and also in terms of the type of visas, in most of the European countries that we've spoken about, the family would have to apply for a different visa compared to student D visa, which is the student visa for boarding. If a child is particularly interested in computer science and design, which school would you recommend that would best meet their needs? For sure, Sotogrande
Sotogrande.
International School is the one that comes into my mind for the IT department we have there, but also because it offers computer sciences as an IB diploma subject.
I find whenever we visit that school and we spend time in the IT department, it is the kind of environment that just you can see and feel the passion that comes from the head of the department and all of the teachers there and the students. The relationship they have with the teachers in that department in particular it's really quite impressive to see. So yeah, Sotogrande International for sure. Okay, we've had some good questions.
Yeah, very engaging parents.
So if there are any questions, obviously we have a little few more minutes we can answer those. But like I said, I have constructed an email which the ladies from Soto will send out with the video recording, with access to links for you to do more research on all of the schools and the fee structures and the things that we've spoken about. But if you want to connect with myself and Sarah for an online meeting, again, with a little bit of planning, we will try and facilitate that too. And also, as I said, I will be in Bangkok on the 15th of February at the CETA Worldwide Education Fair. And I would be very, very happy to meet with any of you and, give you some more information in person. So if there are any more questions, please speak now.
ผู้ปกครองมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมก็สามารถพิมพ์มาได้เลยนะคะ
Okay. Pat, Rin, do you think we are ready to close the recording off and then we can obviously send the email follow-up? And like I said, it doesn't stop here. We will be here to support any of you with any of your questions ongoing for sure.
Yeah, sounds good. So thank you guys so much for today. It's a very informative presentation and we learned a lot about your schools, and we will see you in February at CETA Fair.
Perfect, lovely. And thank you all for being engaging and answering questions, because sometimes people sit and listen and don't ask. So it really is great to see people engaging and asking questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you,
Andrew.
Andrew.
Thank you.
Have a lovely
Thank you.
evening, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Thank you.
สำหรับผู้ปกครองที่ยังอยู่นะคะก็ที่หน้าจอนะคะตอนนี้จะมีโพลอยู่ก็ผู้ปกครองสามารถตอบคำถามได้เลยนะคะว่าสนใจไปเรียนที่ไหนหรือว่าสนใจไปประเทศอะไรนะคะเพื่อเป็นการเก็บข้อมูลด้วยค่ะแล้วก็อย่างที่แจ้งไปค่ะว่าคุณเซียนนะคะแล้วก็ Inspire Education จะมาร่วมงาน World High School Fair ของซีต้าในวันที่15กุมภาพันธ์ปี2025ที่จะถึงนี้ค่ะที่ Bangkok Marriott สุขุมวิทนะคะก็สามารถไปพบกับคุณเซียนแล้วก็ Inspire Education ตัวเป็นๆได้ที่งานค่ะแล้วก็หากผู้ปกครองนะคะต้องการที่จะหาโรงเรียนที่เหมาะสมกับน้องหรือว่าอยากนัดพูดคุยกับ ทาง Inspire Education นะคะก็สามารถติดต่อซีตาเข้ามาทำนัดพูดคุยออนไลน์ได้เหมือนกันค่ะเพื่อหาโรงเรียนที่เหมาะสมกับเด็กๆแล้วก็บุตรหลานของท่านเป็นรายบุคคลได้เลยค่ะ
โอเคမိဘတွေအနေနဲ့လေမေးစရာမရှိတော့ဘူးဆိုလို့ရှရင်လည်းရပါတယ်တကယ်လို့မေးစရာရှိတယ်ဆိုရင်လည်းဒီမှာတစ်စက်မေးသွားလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒီမှာစခရင်မှာပြထားတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲကျမတို့ fair ကတော့ဒီလာမယ့်မြန်မာပြည်မှာ16ရက်နေ့လုပ်မဲ့ fair အတွက်ကိုလည်းပေါ့နော်သူတို့လည်းလာမှာဆိုတော့အဲ့ကြမှာမေးရင်လည်းရပါတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီမတိုင်ခင်ထွက်ခွာခြင်းနဲ့မိဘတွေအတွက်ဆိုတော့ကျမတို့မေးခွန်းလေးတွေကြိုပြီးတော့မေးထားပြီးလို့ရပါတယ်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်တက်ရောက်ပြီးတဲ့မိဘတူတယောက်ချင်းစီရောကျောင်းသားတွေရော Thank you very much my families and also I'm Siring
Thank
okay
you so much, and we will send you
Thank
the
you.
presentation and the video link of the presentation as
okay
well.
ကျေးဇူးပါဆို
Thank you so
ဆလာမ်
much.
ขอบคุณมากนะคะขอบคุณผู้ปกครองทุกท่านเลยค่ะงั้นวันนี้ทางซีตาแล้วก็ Inspire Education ขอลาไปก่อนนะคะสวัสดีค่ะ